Hi, this is Dominic with the Firearms Breakdown, and today we're going to completely disassemble and reassemble a couple of your grandpa's war prizes from the Pacific, the Arisaka Type 99. This takedown video is going to be on this specific rifle, which is a really early production Series 0 Nagoya. So it's going to be a little different if you have a last ditch, but this one specifically for this one. And maybe we'll do a last ditch breakdown somewhere later on. But yeah, so let's get into this. I'm gonna put this awesome Type 30 bayonet for it away for cutting some sushi later. But let's get that off the screen for now. So first of all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna want to make sure that this rifle is completely safe, as with anything. So we're gonna open the bolt, stick our finger in there, make sure there's no round in the chamber, and there isn't. We are completely good to go. So, what I'm going to do first, taking this thing apart, is I'm just going to pull the bolt out because that's the easiest thing to do right now. So what we're going to do is pull the bolt release over here, comes out, pull this out, and you're going to slide the bolt out. And the bolt we're going to disassemble and reassemble in a later video. Next, we're going to start up front. First we're going to take out the cleaning rod, if yours has a cleaning rod. This one has a button right here on it. We're going to do is push the button in, and out comes the cleaning rod. Easy as that. Put that away to the side. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take off the front bayonet lug and the handguard retainer here. And what we can see is we got screws here on this side here, and there's two, or actually there's only one screw here on this side. So, take our screwdriver here. So you got the longer screw is the front one, and the shorter screw is in the rear. Take this side off, and this should be another short screw here. Alright, we'll set those aside, and now this should slide forward. Okay. Okay, so that's not going to come off because you get the front side tip here. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to unscrew the monopod slash handguard retainer. So unscrew this here. Pull that guy out. And now this is going to slide forward. Now we should be able to pull the top handguard off. It's going to lift, and let's set this aside. Okay, so now we are free to take the receiver of the stock. So you've got three screws down here that are going to pull the trigger group out. Then it's also nice too if you keep these bolts in order here, the way you pull them out, it keeps it easier going back in. So like this first one here is a shorter, the second one behind the trigger guard is a longer one, and then the third one here, that's the really long one that can go are the those 3 screws hold everything together. There's no screws on the top here. So now you're going to be able to just pull the barrel right out of the stock. Okay, so barrel's out. So now you just have your trigger group in here, and this should just pull right out. Alright, so now we're out of the stock. That's as far as we'll, oh, actually here, I'll show you this too. So this has a separate tang piece here on the Arisakas. So, just need to pop this out here. That's it, just like that. Comes right out. It just kind of sets in there, and then when you put the receiver on, it clamps this part down. So yeah, that's as far as we need to really go on the stock right now. The butt plate, if you want to take it off, it's 2 screws, and there's 2 screws on the swing, on the sling swivel here. And then also, once you pull that stuff, if you wanted to separate the second piece of the butt stock, it slides right in there. But we're not going to do that today. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to pull the trigger off. So what we're going to have to do here, as you can see, when you pull the trigger, it rotates on this pin point here, where this pin is. So we're going to take a punch, and we're going to push against this pin here. Okay. And we just knock that pin out. So that pin is right there. Pull our punch out gently because it's under pressure because there is the spring right here. Pull this out, and you can see the whole trigger drops out then, and then there's your trigger spring. So, okay, so now that we have the trigger out, we can take out the bolt release and the extractor. As you can see right here, there's a little screw head. So we're going to unscrew that to take this out. Okay. Out, and then we can pull this out. And there is your bolt release and your extractor. So now that your bolt release is off, if you need to pull your extractor out, you can do that. All you gotta do is pull and it slides right out. See? Slides back in, and then make sure when you put it in again, it's not flipped the wrong way like this, because it can actually go in that way. You want to make sure that the little pointed edge is pointed out like that. Okay. So now we're pretty much completely apart here. Other than taking the sights off, but we don't need to take the sights off. So let's go ahead and put this guy back together again the way we just did it. So first off, we'll take our bolt release and our extractor. Now we're going to put our trigger back in. So what we're going to do is take our little trigger group here. Make sure this end here where the sear is going to go through this hole right here, this square hole. We're going to take our spring, make sure it's slid over this little piece here. That spring is going to go into this hole right here. Now what we're going to need the easiest way I found to do this is if you take your punch, run your punch through, you'll see that it's holding everything together without the pin. Here's your little pin right here, and now you're going to use the punch as a guide to follow it. So put your pin against your punch like this, and then as you slowly work your punch out, you work your punch in, and it follows right against it. It's a little tricky, it can be a little bit finicky. So, follows right through and pushes your punch out. So that guy's in. Trigger's in. We're good to go. Alright, on to the next part here. So now, it can go back into the stock. And then what I didn't show you though is also, if you need to take your follower out here of your magazine, what you do is there's a button on the inside of the trigger guard here. You push that button, and the door opens. Or you pull this button and the door opens here. That's going to come through the follower spring, and that comes out like that. And if you need to take this guy out in the spring, this just slides into a little slot on the trap door there. So what you're going to do is slide that out, and it literally just slides right out. And same at the top. If you want that off, it just slides out. And it goes back the same way. Slide that in there, take the spring here, slide it into the bottom of the trap door, just like that, and now you can close it all. Okay, so now we're going to put this guy back together into the stock. So, let's grab our stock, let's take our receiver, actually, the first part we're going to do is we need to put this rear tang piece in first because it's separate and on its own. So we're going to take the stock, take the little tang piece, and that just sits in there like that. Okay. Now when you put the stock on, when you put the receiver back on, it actually pinches over the top of the tang and holds this piece in. So now we're going to take our receiver, making sure that the trigger goes through the trigger hole there. Stop. We're all good. And you can see how this rear piece here slides over that tang. Now, what we're going to do is flip her on over. We're going to take our magazine here. And we're going to slide it back into place. So the follower here is going to slide up against the receiver in that hole, and then there you go, we're back in. So now remember what I said before, with 3 bolts, if you keep them in line like this, it's easier when you got to put it back in, because then you don't got to remember which one goes where. So we got the long one here that goes into the back, okay, and we got the next medium sized one that goes behind the trigger guard. Shorty goes in front. Okay, now what we're going to do is screw all of these down lightly. There's 1. See, they're just light. I'm not torquing these down. And there's 2. Alright, so that's all secured now. So what I'm going to do now is torque these down. I'm going to grab my Wheeler torque wrench here. And what you want to do with the torque wrench is, first off, you want to make sure these hollow point bits are the right size on your screws, so they don't they don't mar it up or slip and chew the heads of the screws up. So this is the right size for it that we need. So I'm going to put that into our wheeler, torque wrench here. So that's it. And now what I'm going to want to do is, on the receiver here, you're going to want to set it to 30 inch-pounds to torque it down. So how you do that on the torque wrench, as you can see, there's a little gauge right here. And that little white guy in the front that you can see in the window is going to slide up the more as I turn it. So I'm going to keep turning it until it lines up with the 30. Now that's set on the 30. And then we're going to want to torque these evenly. So I'm going to start with the middle screw here and then do the outside one. So it distributes the weight evenly when you're torquing these things down. So I'm going to go tight on this one. Well, not fully tight, but I'm going to go to where it stops turning. So we're going to do one, middle one here. Okay. Front one. Stop till we bottom out. Put it in the back one. Okay. So now that they're evenly tightened, I'm going to tighten them evenly too. So we're going to start back with the middle one here, and we're going to torque this down till it hits 30 inch-pounds. And it's going to click when it hits, just like that. Okay, we're at 30 inch-pounds on the middle. We're going to go to the front. 30, and we'll do the rear. 30, perfect. So now it's all evenly torqued, and that's nice and secure. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put the handguard back on. So we're going to take this guy here. As you can see, there's a little bit of a detent cut into the wood, and that's going to slide right into here on the front of the sight, just like that. Okay, we're in like that. Now we're going to take our barrel band slash monopod mount slash sling holder, and we're going to slide that down. Next, we're going to grab our through bolt here. So this guy goes from this side to the other side and grabs. And then, like I said before, this is really nice with this little Lyman mat. You can kind of separate all of your pieces, so when you're taking stuff apart, you can keep track of them, and then when it has to go back together, it makes it a lot simpler. So grab this guy, we're going to put him in there, just like that. Start in my hand. And now we're going to grab the screwdriver, and I think this is the right side head, right side. And then we're just going to, you don't want to over torque these, just hand tight. Good, little snug, just like that. Okay. Next, we're going to move up to the front barrel band slash bayonet lug here, and that's going to slide right over. And the easiest way I found with these is if you just do the small screws first. Okay, so you got this side here. together. One more piece. We're going to take the cleaning rod. It's going to slide right in like that. And just push it in. Click. And it's locked. And we're all back together again. And if you want to get real, you can just take your bayonet here. And that slips right over. And you got that locked in too. So now we're fully back together again the right way. So yeah, hope you guys, hope this was informational and helpful, and you guys give us a like and subscribe if you want to keep seeing some of these videos. Thanks so much. Cool?
Nice.
Cool. Oh, I didn't put the bolt back in. Okay, so after your cleaning rod is in, what you're gonna do is we're gonna check, make sure there's nothing in the chamber one more time. Nothing in there. Grab your bolt, start it here on the back. You're gonna grab your bolt release here, pull out, slide the bolt forward. Okay, as you can see, it's in there. It's not gonna go forward until you push down on the follower a little bit to release it. And that's it. Bolts forward, bolts in, she's back together, ready to go. If you wanna get full 90-20, you can grab your bayonet, stick that lug, click her in, she's good to go. That's how you do it. You guys, thanks for watching. Hope this was informational and helpful. Like and subscribe if you like what we're doing over here, and thanks so much.